Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you several tips to start investing as a beginner in 2024, including my secret sauce, which I have named the double or nothing strategy. So, are you ready? Let's dive in. The videos on this channel should not be considered financial advice, as they are for education purposes only. If you would like personalized advice, please use the link below to schedule a one-on-one consultation or seek a local advisor in your area. Before we talk about my top tip, the double or nothing strategy, let's talk about starting where you are today. It is important to have enough in your checking and savings account as liquid assets to make sure your bills are paid, and preferably having an emergency fund. We usually say 6 months to a year of funds for emergency purposes. If you wanted to put a dollar amount to that, you could say 20 to 50,000 in cash or savings for emergency purposes. But that's going to vary from person to person depending on what your bills and your obligations are. But once you've accomplished that, it's important to get started where you are today. Just get started. Start with whatever you're comfortable with. It could be $50, $100, $500, whatever you're comfortable getting started with. And going back to my past video, create something that's automatic if that helps you contribute and add to the account on a regular basis. So let's say $50 a paycheck, or $100 a paycheck, $50 a week, $200 a month, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever fits in your budget, but consistently contribute to that account and invest those funds. And that brings me to my next tip, which is to use a free and no minimum service. Investing no longer means that you have to have thousands of dollars to invest. You can start today with as little as $0 using some services that are out there. Do some research and find the platform that best fits your needs. Okay, you're set up with your service of choice and you're ready to get started. So next on the list, stop listening to social media investment gurus. Do your own research. Learn from the masters. I personally study Warren Buffett's strategy. Figure out your investment style and stick with it. So now you've invested some money, let's say $100 to get started in your investment account. Next choice is make your investment selection. It's usually best to start with strong, stable companies, but do your research and find out what you believe in, what you would like to invest in. And think of it this way, you're not gambling. You're not adding money to something somebody told you to invest in and you know nothing about it. You're choosing companies that you wish to own. Sure, it may only be $50 worth of that company or $100 worth of that company, but you are in effect owning a piece of that company. So you need to believe in what they were doing and what the future of that company looks like, especially from a financial standpoint. You need to have such a conviction in that company that you're willing to stick with them for the long haul, regardless of what happens in the economy or to that company overnight. If we go into a recession and there's a 20% decrease over the next month, you know that this company is great, it has a great future ahead of them, they will recover, and you're going to keep holding on to that for the long run. Okay, so now you've chosen your company. Now the question is, how do I make the investment? How do I pull the trigger? I generally recommend using a limit order to buy and sell your stock is going to be the best strategy. If you don't know what that is, do a little bit of homework, a little bit of research, quick Google search, find out exactly what setting a buy or sell limit order looks like, and figure out how to do that in the investment service that you chose. And that leads me to my number one tip, which is my secret sauce, the double or nothing strategy. Now, this is just something that I implement for myself personally. It's a play on words. It's meant to take both the fear of missing out and the fear of loss out of investing. Let me tell you what I mean. So as an example, let's say I purchase shares of company XYZ and I pay $10 a share for that company. I buy $100 worth of company XYZ for $10 a share. I will immediately go in and place a limit order to sell that stock at $20 a share, but only for half of my shares. So if I've purchased, let's say 100 shares at $10 a piece, I will place a sell limit order for 50 of those shares, or half of what I purchased, at $20 a piece. So in doing that, I've already set the expectation that that stock is going to double before I sell it. Why would I do that? So what that does, it takes the fear of losing money out. It takes the fear of the greed element out. Once that stock has doubled in value, I essentially take all of my money back. So let's say you spend $1,000 for 100 shares. If the share price of that has doubled, I can sell half of those shares and get my original $1,000 back in cash. Do you see what I did there? So now my original investment has come back to me. Everything that's left in that account, which means if it's doubled, there's $1,000 still left in that account, or 1,000 shares, however you want to look at that. That can remain invested. If it's a company, if it's a stock that I believe in, my intention is to just sit and hold the remainder of that investment indefinitely until I decide to sell it. But it removes the risk of losing out of it, because that's no longer my money. That's just my gain that's sitting in that account. I've recaptured my money. I have my money back. So then I will turn around and reinvest my money somewhere else, and I will rinse and repeat over and over with each investment until I have built a portfolio that looks like that. Now, when we're talking about 100 shares of a $2 stock, we're talking about $100 worth of stock, $1,000 worth of stock. We're not talking huge numbers here, okay? We're talking about little, small, incremental investments, but treating it like a larger investment and letting that grow, rinse and repeat cycle over and over, and eventually that portfolio will grow and will become larger than you expected it to. So, in conclusion, that stock may double tomorrow, it may double next month, it may double 5 years from now, but my order to sell that stock will be there until it hits that number. As long as it was a sound investment to begin with, it will eventually hit that number, and I will eventually get my money back out of that investment. I hope you found value in today's video. If you did, remember to like and subscribe below for more videos coming soon. See you soon.